Alright, Shane with J-Tech, and we're doing an inspection of a power steering system here today, full inspection. What you're going to do is you're checking individual parts of the system, hoses and all that. And we're showing you here is the control unit there. It's just what your steering wheel, the shaft runs into there. It's the power steering unit itself. And what you're doing is you're looking through the seals and all the connections that you'll see there. That's where the that's where the steering shaft comes into. Got your U-joints in there. Of course, your fittings and all around your lines. You want to look, make sure there's no kind of leakage. You would also want to clean all this off. We've done inspections on this one here for a while. This is just some of the gunk that ran down. They've sprayed a lot of this stuff off already. We've tested the system. It actually doesn't leak. We're just showing you a video here to try and help you out. As you see, as I'm going around each one of the hoses, you look through. You want to look for any kind of, showing with the bare metal underneath, cracks. All this stuff here is under high pressure. 300 psi, I believe, what some of these hoses are. You'll see down in there, you're looking for any kind of leaks around the seals where they go in, where the connector shafts and stuff go, the U-joints. Always double check. You see there that warning clamp? That's actually not really good to use. Over time they'll eat into your lines and stuff. In this case here, everybody uses them and stuff, but that's where most of your hoses spill out, is starting right there. So you don't see anything. Look around where all the bolts are. Anything that holds pieces together in this unit you want to check out. Any seals. It's looking good there. Yep. Should be able to move on here. We're going to move to the next piece. So, alright. And then on down here, check your bottom. You'll see there's no drips, no leaks, no nothing like that. Alright, we'll move on here next. Get back down here and look at all the hoses up. As you follow them, they come up. You'll see on the hoses here, they'll have the writing. That tells you what type of hose it is. They'll have the pounds per square inch and all that good stuff. So, right here, they connect in there. That's your reservoir. And inside the reservoir, we'll talk a little later on, but there's a filter actually inside there itself. Then alright, that goes in there to the pump itself. Here's where you really want to look a lot, because these pumps work a lot. And they can reach high temperatures, really high PSI, pounds per square inch in pressure. Especially on the semis, they're massive. They carry a lot of weight and everything, so the steering and suspension is heavy duty anyway, so if you didn't have a nice pump on there, it fell immediately just about. You wouldn't want to run a pump like you see on a Ford F-150 on a Peterbilt. It just wouldn't hold up. So you just keep looking through. Everything looks pretty good. Get down up underneath there. Always get up underneath and look too. A good flashlight, good flashlight. 600 lumens or so. Those things are pretty bright. They'll light up the daytime. Once again, make sure you just clean off everything as much as possible, pressure wash if possible. Just look at all the seals. Of course, on systems that have PTO, when it comes to hydraulic systems, you would check around the PTO. A lot of times, I've seen a lot of it leak right there between the pump and the PTO. Normally not the PTO so much as it is the pump, but they do go out. See a lot of the residue that's when we washed it, oil and stuff off of it. Didn't wash it as well as maybe it should have been. But if you're in doubt, you can always wipe this down, run the system, and then check to make sure there's no more leaks. If there was a leak to begin with, should I say. But right up there's power steering. Of course, it's gear driven. Zooming out. I'm going to get down in there. I said one line's going to have feed line in, the other one's going to come in.
Shut the fuck up, fat man. This ain't none of your goddamn business.
Yep. Partner didn't turn off the cell phone. You got to excuse that right there. But back over here, like I said, we was talking about the hoses earlier and everything. They range in different PSIs, but it basically boils down to what the system is rated for. Those hoses are rated for 300 pounds per square inch. When in doubt, just look on the hose. Checking it. What we're doing here is actually checking for any rubbing or chafing or any kind of cracks or holes of any sort. Because liquid under that type of pressure and everything, it'll inject right up into the skin if you're not careful. It'll cut off fingers depending on how big the hole is. And, yeah, there you go. There's the writing on it. All right. Hoses are looking pretty good. Don't see anything there. And the clamps look decent. Especially around the reservoir and things like that, None of the connections and stuff like that, I've seen a lot of leaks, though there's all different kind of stuff that can cause the hose to snap or pinch, or depending on where it's positioned and everything, it could rub against the body due to vibrations or just the road. And then, of course, you got poor routing, somebody fixing it, not putting it where it's supposed to go, and getting snagged on something. But with the pressure relief valves that's in the power steering units and stuff like that, it should relieve the pressure if the PSI gets high enough, depending on the system. We tested one the other day. I think the relief valve kicked in at 2100. You dropped your pressure and everything, or it drops your GPMs down to 0. So far, so good. Everything's looking pretty good. Yep. Let's see. We'll figure out here. We're going to the next part. Look down the lines down there. Make sure we get everything right. You see, you got to get down underneath. Some extra lines there that are not part of. There we go. That's pretty dirty down here. You really want to clean all this off. We should have taken the time and cleaned this off and everything. Luckily, we worked with the system enough and everything. It doesn't mean, though, that we couldn't have, in time that other people were looking at it and testing with it and stuff, that it couldn't have, sprung a leak somewhere. But here we go. We're going to get into this. See what we got here. Alright. Now, like I said earlier, we got inside and get the third of the line first. Alright, it's looking good there so far. Look around low and you'll see, of course you want to check your fluid. I'll pull the cap out here in a second and we'll get that going. And But like I said, inside there, you take that bolt off, take that top off. There's also a filter in there. You want to make sure that's pretty good. It needs to be changed out, change it out, of course. Fluid and everything needs to be good. In this case, it's ATF fluid. Just check your system manual and everything, and you make sure you got the right type in there. Some of them actually normally using regular oil. Some of your older systems, most of them is ATF now or some kind of hydraulic and everything, but mostly ATF is from what I understand, and few that still use a motor oil. So, but there you go. That's pretty much the system. You just go through and go through and go through and pretty much inspect and make sure everything's up to speed. Because the last thing you want to do is have a leak, be stuck on the side of the road, especially on one of these suckers, because you need to have it delivered out, make sure everything's right. With that being said, you got to do what you got to do. And part of the inspection is, or part of the problem, let's try that again, sorry. Part of this problem that most technicians have is they just blow through the inspection. Take your time that is allotted. If you got an hour and a half or a PMI, take your time. Do it in that time. You can get done a little quicker, but be thorough and look. Hey, well, more power too, because that's exactly what you need. You need to be able to look at the system, find any leaks, fix it before it becomes a big problem. Because last thing you want to do is go and tear in front of a cat, taking the gear off, replacing the whole pump. That's a pain in the butt, and a lot of money and a lot of man hours and stuff, and it's just not good for the company. So, especially if you're working for a company. If you're the shop owner, hey, of course you want it. But anyway, I'm Shane Gibson, and this is my video on a systems inspection. It was done on a Peterbilt 97, and it was done on the power steering system. I hope watching the video and everything, it wasn't too shaky, and kind of getting understand everything, what to look at and what to be kind of mindful of. So, one last thing, if you're running down and everything, and you can't instead of jumping back and forth with bolts, go to the top of your bolt. They tell you what type it is. Most people don't pay attention to that stuff. You ask them what type of bolt it is, they go, I don't know the size.